currently we enjoy the most favorable set of conditions. Probably after the 1950s, in terms of economic development, if we want to, or our leaders want to follow the right economic policies. Therefore, I don't think that there is something that is collapsing tomorrow, or something is going to happen tomorrow, or crisis, economic crisis in the year 2013. No, that's not the way I look at it. I look at the economy as something currently in a better situation than, say, 2012. Because we have to talk about in comparison with the previous year. The previous year, the major issue was the government was facing the need for addressing certain macroeconomic or economy-wide policy mishaps created by our own policies. Soon after the war, successful completion of the war, or defeat of the LTT, or militant defeat of the LTT, we started pumping beyond our means resources, or rejuvenating the 30 years of of the economy, which has gone into a fairly difficult situation, not only in the north, everywhere, and everybody gets so feel good themselves, and finally it was realized that the overvalued exchange rate and undervalued interest rates, that all cannot be continued, and then we went on a very, very serious correction path. The exchange rate was brought to something closer to realistic level. Interest rates are allowed to go upward to some extent, and then credit limits are imposed, and drastic increase of certain import tariffs are introduced, and some of these measures went beyond the expectation of the policymakers, according to what I heard recently. That means that it contracted the economy beyond the expectation, but anyway, that managed a certain situation where the larger or much more bigger magnitude of hemorrhaging of the economy was caused. Now we have become an international country branding index. We are in the 67th or some position. Very good. So tourism is there, what is not. And we have, if you look at it, to be reasonable, since the end of the war, the number of and the extent of the infrastructure development that has taken place, roads, airports, from borrowed or lent money or whatever it is, there is a set of things that have taken place. While all these things are happening, as Diane said, cartelization or oligarchs, yeah, and all of a sudden you see teaming up and coming up and getting together, and finally these resources are cornered, like very much in the corner, like that feeling is there, that sense is there. But you can argue also, because now I'm going a little bit away from this, argue also this differently. I think he, being a political economist, political scientist, he will like to listen to this. What was happening up until recently was the post-56 boys and girls. What I mean is post-56 is not the date of birth exactly, the mentality. As he was mentioning, someone It's still the post-56 mentality. That is why the MRs and BRs and all are having this kind of advantage situation. The post-56 boys and girls were a kind of oligarch. Why not you call them oligarch? Why not you call them a cartelization of a certain kind of comprador, we used to call those good old days. They were there. And particular chamber of commerce, everywhere you can see that. I can remember that late President Premadar has told one of the young person who was had a very good exposure outside and came and joined the UNP. And one day he has told, don't worry, you will never be able to climb beyond this level. I know they will somehow or other destroy you. That is about political party, but it's in economy also. It's a planning, some sort of a. And now what you are seeing is, I used to call them post-56 boys and girls, administration, economy, administration, medical, engineering, all these disciplines now are headed by post-56 boys and girls. When you go to see a doctor, whether you go to meet an engineer, you can see what I am trying to say. So, only area where we had some problems is, we had some problem is economy. Now they have started raiding, attacking, acquisitions, and get together with the powers that be and try to dominate the resource, resource rally. But it's not only, even earlier that was there. Not so nakedly probably, not so, what I call is, not only the very village type activities, but it was there. You can call it. For example, 1965 to 70, when I was in the school, when the little bit of liberalization came, it was the Toyota agent Frudenberg, then Senanayakas who were there. We try to now see this as because this is a different set of people, different set of upbringing they have. Then we feel very uncomfortable because they are not ours. I think coming from that, because I have been always thinking that in addition to post-56 trend, a good friend of mine, very senior policymaker said, there is what you call post-77 people who are very trained. We have seen exploiting the country's resources. Bribery, corruption came to light actually 1977 or 78 onwards. I was in the government service. I could see, it's a great robberies, but nobody at that today can remember because some of you all are young. But anyway, then this trend went up. Now this, among some of these post-56 boys and girls, this is the name of the game. I'm sorry that I diverted away from the. What I'm trying to say that you can't continue the current status of the economy if you try to consume beyond your means. Your residents, your family can't do that, your corporate can't do that, nobody can. Currently what we are doing is, we are borrowing, and we have to borrow now, because the moment we exceed the 2,000 US dollar level per capita income, we are not eligible to, nobody is going to give us concessionary credit. We are not going to get, except few countries, once in a while. Basically we have to go to the market. The market is ruthless and senseless. It charges you the commercial rate. Now we have to borrow. That's good, because we have recognized. But can you go on borrowing and doing? Why we have to keep on borrowing? Because our expenditure, government expenditure, is much higher than the government revenue. Not only that, it is higher than the government revenue. Government revenue as a percentage of the GDP has been declining. Now it has come to lowest level in Asia to 11.5% or something like that, but while the rest of the Asian countries are 18, 16, 17, whatever. Therefore, the fundamental fiscal correction, which has been already introduced to some extent, has to be kept at that level to some extent. Government expenditure cannot be expanded, will have to be reduced. But when it comes to, we can prescribe anything. Prescriptions are very easy. Where to cut? Recurrent expenditure. What do you mean by recurrent expenditure? Large number of 1.3 million government servants are produced. I was told that of the defense budget, 70% goes to the salaries. And what can we, for us, like, we can suggest that reduce the number of people in college, remove them, give them golden handshake. We have done it some time ago, and we know what is the outcome. Therefore, it's not going to happen. Alternatively, you have to go and increase the revenue, for which they need to go and implement certain tax reform commission proposals and reduce the leakages through state-owned enterprises. Now, it's good. That is why I say I'm trying to balance this. It's good to see that at least CEB, CPC matter is being handled. It looks like, to my, they are going to handle it rather firmly, reduce the billion, 100 odd billion to at least a couple of billions or no, something like that, because there is a certain subsidy element that goes to the lowest end of the market. If the government maintains this line of reforms and introduce further corrections in the months to come, particularly with regard to exchange rate, further devaluation may be permitted, because the worst area that has been affected by the government crowding out is the export expansion. In terms of, again, GDP, you can see a drastic and continuous decline of the share of exports. It is, those measures are not going to pay off you over 1 year or two. My assessment is that government will maintain this situation, what prevails after the correction of the electricity and petroleum prices, until about very late part of the year. With the budget, they will try to introduce certain revenue measures, that is in November, and try to introduce stringent measures are taken in the first half of this year. Therefore, afterwards, they will try to see what results could be achieved. But loosening of the grip will happen at least 6 months before the election, so that dying horse will be dead.